All right, what's up, guys? We're live. It's the Give 'em Six podcast. It's Elijah,
It's Carson.
and this episode's gonna be a little bit shorter. It's not like our usual episode. We're
Yeah.
sorry that Facebook isn't coming up on, or the live stream isn't coming up on Facebook, but technical difficulties do happen. It's not always how we want it to go. So I guess we'll just start because, again, like I said, there's not a lot to say. So. Waiting for it to start. It'll start here in a minute. Hello and welcome to the Give 'em Six podcast, the podcast where we talk about Tennessee and the SEC East. It's Elijah,
And it's Carson.
and today we don't have a whole bunch to talk about. But we are going to deliver an episode to you guys because it's been a while. I was
We just
playing
want to get one out there.
exactly. I've been playing at the Foursquare Connection. Been doing some piano there. That was fun. But it's time to get back on the podcast. Get back on doing what we need to be doing here. So, thanks for tuning in. And Karsh, how have you been doing?
Been doing good. I got a job this summer, so I've been working almost every day. But yeah, like Elijah said, we've since it's summer, we told you before summer we were gonna try to get episodes out every week.
Yeah.
But it's hard, especially with us in high school and then summer's here. I know it's also hard for you guys to always tune in. As summer's one of the busiest times of the whole entire year.
Yep.
For every so it's pretty hard for us, but we're trying to get one out here to you this week. Unfortunately, sadly, we'll have another 3 weeks off of. We won't be able to get an episode to you guys then. I will try to keep on posting on Twitter and
Oh yeah.
Instagram these 3 weeks. But the good thing is it's not super busy in sports.
Right.
Baseball
Right.
season's over for the balls.
Football season, we're bringing
Football
you one every week. We're
spring-
cutting that out every time. That's coming.
Yeah, spring
Yeah.
trainings or trainings here for football, summer conditioning. So that's big. That's probably the biggest news we have. I saw something cool today with college basketball. Actually, the preseason top 25. Way too early preseason top 25.
Yeah.
Tennessee's not even ranked in the top 25. And yeah, that's tough. When I told you that, you probably just took a giant deep breath in and was like, well,
Asterisk sigh. Asterisk. We're reconnecting with
top
Carson.
25, we're not going to be in the top 25 for this season. So
Yep.
it's going to be something that we're going to have to work towards, guys. Basketball's going to have to work hard this next season. Definitely not going to be as good as we were last season, just like me and Elijah talked about. But we'll work hard. I know Rick Barnes is good as where we need to be again. But
For sure.
other than that, guys, the NBA championship's out. It's the Raptors and the Warriors. The Raptors are up 2-1 right now. Very surprisingly, the Raptors won game 1. The Warriors won at their place game 2, and they beat the Warriors game 3, which is crazy. The Kawhi Leonard and the Raptors are going off.
Crazy.
He's playing
Yeah.
an amazing game.
I thought they were
He's
gonna
dropped
just sweep 'em.
30 points a game, almost every game. It's amazing.
Yep. And yeah, it's pretty insane the way that's playing out. It's not as expected as it would be with that game. The
Exactly.
Warriors, I mean, I they've got to win it all. I mean, they're such a good team. They're dominant. They're a lot like Alabama, kind of the Alabama of the NBA.
You see, the Warriors don't have KD for Game 4. That was announced
Right,
today.
for sure.
He's been out ever since Rockets. Game 6 of the Rockets, he's been out, which was the final game of that series. But yeah, it's been tough for KD. Klay Thompson got injured one time, but he tried to continue to play. He's not been the same. So you got Steph Curry and Draymond because Cousins got injured again at the end of the season, so he wasn't even there.
Yep.
Um, yeah, it's tough, tough time for the Warriors, especially with the hot Raptors team that can play with anybody. Might be the Raptors' lucky year.
It might be. And I would love for them to beat the Warriors, and the Warriors are kind of at a disadvantage player wise in some ways. I'm not saying that, the Raptors players are gonna be better than the Warriors players, but the Warriors are missing a pretty key player right now, and that's a big deal when it comes to a tournament. You have to take advantage of that, and the Raptors are definitely doing so. But I let's just dive into college sports. Cars, we've been getting us some questions from our fans. You guys have sent us in questions. I asked for some on Facebook, and you guys responded. I actually asked for them today, and you guys gave us some. I chose the top 3 or 4, and so the first one, and this is my favorite one. What's the top cereal of all time? This is the only not Vols related one.
Do what?
What's
It broke up there.
Yeah, what's the top cereal of all time in your opinion? That's a listener question.
Of all time.
Yeah.
I bet the person that wrote this did not think they'd get on the podcast for this one, but
They didn't. I'm sure they didn't. And it's not even Vols related, so
it's such
I
a
asked
hard
for Vols
question.
related. I mean, it really is. This is actually all right.
Yes.
I'll give you my answer, my sportsy answer, and then my regular answer. My sportsy answer. There was a limited edition Wheaties box that came out before I was born with Peyton Manning on it, and there was another one with Babe Ruth. Either of those would be amazing. Also, if we're talking like completely out of sports, don't ask us, but Good Mythical Morning, Rhett and Link, they did a cereal breakdown during the college basketball playoffs. They did a bracket with cereal, and they broke down and figured out what the top cereal was. So I guess if you want to figure out the answer to that, you can definitely go and find that. Now, the next question, and this is, that was the only Vols non-related one, but this one is a good question. I've thought about this a lot. Should college athletes be compensated money besides necessities and scholarships? So should they be getting paid a little bit? Should they get a little bit of a stipend, past what they already get for necessities and whatnot?
That's an amazing question because it's going around the news all right now about that question right there.
Right.
Professional announcers, professional people in law, all sorts of people have answered this, and it's usually 50-50. There's not really a overly top choice. And just to say, I love these questions, guys. You guys need to ask these questions because we've always mentioned it, and we only get a few sometimes. Because some people think, well, if I ask a question, I'm just asking, I'm never going to get my answer. You're seeing right here, all the people that ask these questions are getting their answer on the podcast live.
Yep.
Or on the edited version, and it's going out. So, guys, keep on asking questions because the more and more people that are going to ask questions is going to be harder for us to get to. So ask us why while we're still building up on that question. But that question is big right there. But my personal opinion, I don't think so. Because you're going to have a top player, and he's going to get paid a little bit more than the player that's second string or the player that's right by him on the football field. The quarterback gets paid a little bit more than the running back. Running back's going to get a little upset. You know what he's going to do? He's going to ask for more money.
That's
They're not
right.
going to make more money. He's going to end up transferring, just like how 200 and something people did this year in college football D1. They just decided to transfer teams. And do I like that at all? No. people are transferring too much now, and it's getting out of hand. This needs to be stopped. That's another question that I would, if I was a listener, I would be asking us is, do you think that the transfer rule is way too lenient for people that can just get out of here, skedaddle, and go to another team? You know, like Justin Fields going to Ohio State, like out of nowhere. Jalen Hurts going to Oklahoma. Like these teams are starting to get stacked, and like Elijah said, with the Warriors, they're almost like Alabama. The Warriors got stacked in the offseason because of trades. It's almost like there's being trades, but nobody's being traded for each other. They're
That's
just
right.
needed. These college teams are turning into giant professionals. Like it's a professional team almost. It's getting to the point where it's getting so stacked. Certain teams are going to win every year. It's what we've seen with the Warriors.
That's right.
Cavs when LeBron was there. And the thing is, and it's going to spread over to college basketball too. And then it's going to end up being the same team.
That's right.
Like I've said, every time making the championship because everybody wants to transfer there. Everybody wants to transfer here. The second quarterback that's a sophomore is not going to want to wait a year. He's going to get antsy and transfer here. And it's going to build a team up that should be built up. What's the point of even recruiting anymore? Why don't they just go ahead and just transfer? There's no point. And then it goes back to the same thing that we were asked from this guy.
It's actually not a guy. It's a lady named
or a
Sarah
woman.
Tipton. So shout out Sarah Tipton. Yeah.
The thing that this question was asked by this lady: should players be paid? And then it's going to end up being people that transfer over here are going to be wanting to
I
transfer
agree.
there because of money.
Yeah.
If they were to do that, this whole entire college football NCAA would be
It would be jacked up, bro.
It would be.
Yeah.
And I'm saying these transfer rules are way too lenient, guys. It makes me mad to see every day when I get an alert on my. There's an Instagram account made for college football transfers, and it's got over 100,000 followers because these kids are transferring like no other. Like
Yeah.
it is so crazy that they just transfer like that. Nothing, no paperwork, and that's not how it used to be. It just started this year, and the NCAA passed it so you didn't have to be a senior.
Yeah.
Uh, you could be a fifth year. You had to be a senior, fifth year senior. You could transfer for one last year. These people are
Right.
transferring with 3 years belt and switching colleges like nothing. It's almost like they talk about how academics is so important out of college, but they're just leaving the college and
That's
then going
true.
to another. Like, the guy that's you know originally signed with Oklahoma University and say Stanford, which is a hugely smart college. Not saying Oklahoma's not at all, but Stanford's a lot more, and
That's
they
true.
offer where he goes. He goes to a college that he didn't have the academics.
He's gonna go to get
He
paid
didn't
more.
have he didn't have the GPA and ACT score to make it, but
Right.
he transfers there mid football season because he can. It's so crazy now, guys. It is so crazy.
Just thinking how much people transfer now. People transfer so much now, and if they were to get compensated, you'd have a school like Alabama sucking in these players even more. Like a player I was planning to talk about anyway today, Eric Shaw. He's a class of 2020. He's a great player, and he visited both Alabama and Tennessee. He is highly considering Tennessee because he likes the facilities. He likes the people. He was amazed. He went to work out with the team, loved the guys. But if he say we were to have this thing where you could compensate people and give them a stipend, not saying schools don't do that. I think there's some schools that slip past the NCAA regulations and slip players some cash money. But Eric Shaw, he say if he was offered X amount of dollars by Alabama, he'd be going straight to Alabama. He wouldn't care about facilities. He'd care about the money. You play a sport in college and hope to get recognized by professionals. You hope to get recognized by scouts, and then you hope that one day you'll go on and become a great professional athlete. You don't go to college to get money. It's for experience. It's for those those scouts to come and see you, you know? So,
Right.
Sarah, I think the answer to your question, no, college athletes should not be compensated financially outside of scholarship money and necessities. Um, I just, I,
Um,
sorry, go ahead.
yeah, and it's something that people are gonna listen to this and you say what we said too. And now, if you don't agree, I don't see why you can't agree with paying players because, like we said, there's so many things that could go wrong here, and there happen to go wrong if they do. And like when we had backup quarterback Quentin Gormley,
Yep,
uh, when he transferred, people were like, "Wow, a transfer, that's big news." And when it affects your own team, it's almost to heart way too much. Like Kelly Bryant transferring to Missouri this year, he was a star quarterback in Clemson, had a few bad games, gets out by
yep,
Trevor Lawrence, which no, nothing against Clemson because that was the best choice they could have made because they won the national championship. But Kelly Bryant, amazing quarterback. He could have led them to a championship maybe, but Trevor Lawrence was a better quarterback. Coach made the right decision, but Kelly Bryant sat out. Is he still
that's
a
right.
great quarterback? Yeah. Guess what? Hurts a whole lot East because he goes to Missouri. It's almost crazy because we had to deal with Drew Lock over there, and his arm, and his ability to pass, and then you just all of a sudden Kelly Bryant shows up there, and it just makes you mad. I mean, and then when you get a transfer for your own team, you're like, all right, that's great. So people are, and that's where people agree with their team. And like you said, Elijah, Alabama, they'll be sucking in players like nothing. It will be crazy. It's
That's
gonna be
right.
crazy.
Yeah, Alabama would just suck them in. They would. Now, that was our first two questions. We have another one from a dude named Billy Giles. Also, Billy, if you're listening to this and you're related to Richard Giles, who is one of our grandfather's really great friends and a great friend of us, then tell us
Yeah.
because I would love to know you. All right, he asks, is the offensive line gonna be push or be pushed this year? I love my Vols, but we seem to be soft on the line both ways. And he's not wrong. We didn't see a lot of great
Oh, he's
stuff from
not
the
wrong at
offensive line.
all. Great analysis right there. Um, we are going to be pushed, and we're going to be pushed. Or we're going to push. Let me tell you why. Our offensive line, our defensive line has been soft for the past 6, 7 years. That's very sad. Our defensive line used to be good about 2 years ago when Derek Barnett was there, of course. Um, Khalil McKenzie was a bust. Kyle Phillips was a bust.
Yep.
Shy Tuttle was a bust.
Yeah.
Uh,
Sadly, because I like Shy.
sorry guys. If you listen to this, I'm sorry to be so rude about it, but to all Tennessee fans, y'all three were a bust to our defensive line.
That's
We
so true.
expected we expected so much out of you, and we got nothing. We got maybe Khalil McKenzie getting maybe 8 sacks his whole entire career. Like Derek Barnett set a record in one season. I mean, he got more in one season than you did in your whole entire career at Tennessee, and then he decided to go play NFL football and ride the bench. So, yeah, good job for you. At least Shy Tuttle decided to stay and practice. And Kyle Phillips, sorry, buddy. But you know, going to the offensive line. Oh Lord, it just injuries. Um, and it was almost like uh, Trey Smith having to retire, and then I know you guys heard about Todd Kelly Jr. having to retire. He retired just recently, May 29th,
Sadly.
which is very sad. That hurts a lot. Um, it was sad to hear that, wasn't it, Elijah? I mean,
It was.
he
It
had
really
bad
was.
knee
It's a
surgery.
shame.
He said he was coming back, and then oof.
Yeah.
Um, recruiting's done okay though so far. But
Yeah.
back to his question, we're gonna push people because we have a good coach and good coaching. We have one of the best coaching staffs in the SEC, definitely. We're well put together. With T. Martin and Kevin Shear and Jeremy Pruitt. It's a good coaching staff. Um, we have guys that can coach for an offensive coordinator level that are at the running backs coach level. So it's fine, but we're working. Our offensive line's working. I've read a lot about it, and it's gonna be pushed by some SEC big boys, but we're gonna push some people.
That's right. Now, I like that question. I thought it was well worded too. So, definitely a shout out to Billy Giles. And the next question and the final question. This question just came up, and I almost didn't include it because it was so new. But you know what? I figure why not? It. He asked a lot of things. Justin wouldn't, but I am going to only address a couple. First off, our new freshman. His question is our new freshman Jim Chaney asked as Ansley and T and exactly what they bring to the table, strength of schedule, bringing back a black Nike uniform, my list goes on and on. Justin, I wish we could get to everything. I'm gonna say, I would say our new freshman. We'll talk about our new freshman and bringing back a black Nike uniform because I would actually like to bring back that black Nike uniform.
Yeah.
That would look good. And I have to say, something else that looked good was that blackout.
Oh, I know, a long time ago.
And the smoky gray. Okay, I know, like, everyone who's not my age listening to this, like, basically 90% of our listeners are not going to like the fact that we both enjoy the smoky gray and want it to come back.
Oh, we
If you're watching the live stream on YouTube, I'm actually wearing a smoky gray hat and, like, a smoky gray shirt. I really like smoky gray. I mean, look at our logo, y'all. It's like smoky gray and Tennessee orange. But yeah, bringing back a black Nike uniform would be great. Our new freshmen, Karsh, let's talk on that. What do you think? What do you think our new freshmen are going to bring to the table?
Well, big Cartavius Crouch is going to be big time.
No relation to Elijah and Carson Crouch.
That's the statement, potential.
Yep.
We've seen our ups and downs from our freshmen. We've seen freshmen, like Alvin Kamara, junior college transfer, not technically a freshman, but he was new to our team.
Right.
Jump up and go big time for the NFL and
That's
for
right.
college and for our team.
He cut out.
We've ever gotten at the University of Tennessee, one of the worst defensive linemen we've ever had. He was flat out awful.
That's
he
right.
Was awful. He gained so much weight, and then he tried to lose so much weight, and it ended up being terrible.
That was a bust.
I don't know how the Chiefs picked him up for the NFL, but he was awful.
It's true.
I remember Elijah's dad showing me a video of him throwing some people around in the spring training, and me and Elijah looked at each other and we said, "Man, this kid's gonna be good." What does he do?
Nothing.
Orange and white game, he gets thrown by some random offensive lineman, and everybody's like,
We were at that orange and white game too.
"Wow, that was just weird."
Ouch.
What, like?
It can go both ways.
Tackles his whole career. I mean, he was injured one year. I mean, and then Shy Tuttle, Lord bless him, break both legs. I mean, that is awful. We could not get the break on the offensive line.
We couldn't.
And Trey Smith had a great year.
Dude, Trey Smith, I love that dude.
And then for him, he goes out, and we lose probably 3 other offensive linemen. You just see a play in the next.
I love talking about this. Yes.
Offensive lineman on the ground. Here comes some random Ryan Johnson from the bench, gets plowed over, and and guess what happens? We lose all these people right before big time Georgia and Alabama come at us, and they pound us.
Yeah.
Man, we had problems. And we'll sit here and laugh about it, but during college football season, we're mad about it. And
That's true.
I'm Jeremy Pruitt is wanting to change that because he's known what's going on. But we know who the head coach was when all this happened, so
Yeah.
maybe Bud.
And, Justin, that's a really great question. All the other things, the coaches, I think we've kind of addressed each coach as they come in, especially around the time where Jim Chaney was hired. A lot of discussion on coaches there. I know you're a new listener. This is probably your first episode listening. If you do listen, if you don't, consider subscribing because we like that. And leaving a review really helps. But thank you so much, Justin, and Billy and Sarah, and I forgot your name that gave us the question about cereals, but that was a good question too.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys for listening, and guys, finally, we've said we were gonna do this for so long, but this week we've got that new logo merch. The new logo merch is out.
We've worked on it, and oh my gosh, this is a much better. It's not as much options, and it's the same design, but the design's perfect for a shirt. We had a lot of people say we kind of want a bigger design of the logo, and we got it. So we've had, I think, Elijah, I think our grandparents bought T-shirts. I don't know.
Yep. We've got listeners. Yeah. And you know what? If you guys want to go over there and grab one, also my favorite T-shirt. I'm definitely considering buying one soon. I'm going to Mexico soon, so I'm gonna spend some of my money there. But I'm gonna come back, and you know what? I'm gonna buy, cars.
New merch.
More specifically,
a new merch T-shirt.
The special 2019 edition regular men's T-shirt size medium. That is what I'm gonna buy.
That's the one.
Guys, those T-shirts, they start at 16, but you want that like extra soft feel. You can get that for only $2 more. Guys, I always write my notes on paper because writing them digitally, you don't know if they can get erased or things can happen. So I write my notes on paper. You guys want a notebook? $8. Go grab yourself one. It's totally worth it. And, tell us what you think about the merch. If there's a design you want, tell us. We'll put it out. We've got the old logo, that merch. If you really want that, we have a merch design with the old logo. All the other shirts don't have that. It's the new logo because all you guys like the new logo. So, definitely go get some of that merch. Give 'em 6podcast.threadless.com.
Yep.
And follow us on social media. If you're not already subscribed, definitely subscribe. I know everyone says that, and they all say, well, it helps. Guys, you guys have seen the results on this podcast where you subscribe, and you subscribe, and you subscribe. And it does help.
Definitely.
It helps.
One helps.
If you guys, if all these subscribers, all you guys who are listening to us, all these hundreds of people listening, if you guys hadn't have subscribed, we wouldn't have got on the top charts. That's just real facts. If you guys hadn't have done that, if you guys hadn't have left reviews, people see those reviews. We see those reviews. I was looking through reviews the other day. We have a lot of reviews from some of you guys, and liking and commenting. You can comment if you want. That doesn't matter as much. Definitely keep sending in those questions, though. That is something, that really drove our podcast today, didn't it, Cars?
Yeah, it definitely did.
There's not a whole bunch.
It starts a lot of conversation, which helps us.
For sure.
A lot.
If we didn't have you guys sending in those amazing questions and comments, about the questions, that wouldn't, we wouldn't have had much of a podcast. This podcast has been... Right now, we're recording, and I know this is edited, so it's going to be cut out some of it. But right now, my recording is at 28 minutes and 15 seconds exactly. And there's no way that could have happened without you guys. So, thank you so much. Thank you for watching the live stream. Thank you for sharing it with your friends, retweeting, sharing it. and there's a storm coming, and it's full of orange. We're reconnecting with Carson.
There's a storm coming and it's
Full of orange. And that merch, storm coming, full of orange merch. Make sure to get
I'm
that.
about to buy one right now, guys.
Yeah. Look at that, Carson making that bold move. Start wearing those on the live streams. And that's right. And also just another merch thing. Something I've been thinking about is like enamel pins. If you guys would like that, tell us, because I know that's kind of a thing now, wearing enamel pins on like jean jackets and whatnot. So if you guys think that's a good idea, I'll put that up on the merch store.
Yeah, we just have T-shirts right now. We don't have any.
Well, right now we've got T-shirts and we've got
for men's, women's.
Yeah,
kids.
and we also have the notebook and the stickers, but that's about it.
Yep. More will come along the way. When it gets wintertime, we'll put some sweatshirts in. But
yeah.
But
we've got a sweatshirt or two on the new special edition merch, which costs a little bit more. But you know what? The more you pay for the merch, we're not sending you crap. We're not sending you trash. You can look at reviews. I mean, this is quality stuff.
Yeah.
But the Give 'em 6 podcast,
it's always